Connected. I'm Will Richmond, General Manager of Continental Cablevision, and I'm joined by Mike Leone, our Area Operations Manager. And we're coming to you live this evening from Winchester. As I've said before in our earlier shows, this is a call-in program, and we welcome your calls here to our studio. We're at 617-721-2050, and Mike and I have a few subjects that we'll go through first, and we welcome your calls on any subject at all, anything having to do with our cable TV service in Winchester or any of the other 6 towns that we're servicing. And Mike, why don't we just get started talking about pay-per-view?
Great.
As most of our subscribers know, we started with a few different ordering methods recently, and one of them is what's known as ANI, that's automatic number identification. Can you tell us a little bit about what that is like?
Sure. What it actually enables customers to do, Will, is rather than speaking to a customer service representative when they call and order pay-per-view, which is probably the method that most of our customers that have ordered pay-per-view in the past have used, this allows them to call 2 very special numbers, one specifically for Viewer's Choice 1, which is one of the pay-per-view channels, and the other is a special number for Viewer's Choice 2. And when a customer calls that number, what they'll hear is a prompt that will tell them that their order has been accepted, and basically it doesn't say anything more than that.
So it won't say what movie you've ordered,
No,
it'll just say thank you for your order.
Right, it'll just say thank you for your order, and I think that sometimes causes a little confusion because we've got a lot of customers now that are using these numbers, these 800 numbers, to place their orders, and I think they're hoping to hear that coming up at 8:30 the next movie is JFK. And in fact, that's not what they hear. It just says, thank you for your order. What in fact that really means is that their order has actually been activated right away. And our computer billing system and this ANI system interact, and it can actually read your phone number. When you dial into the system, it can sense the phone number that you're dialing from, which is also the same number that's in our computer billing system, and registers and activates your converter box at home to receive whichever Viewer's Choice Channel 1 or 2, whichever you've ordered, on the two different 800 numbers. And the actual 800 numbers for customers that are interested, because if you haven't used it in the past and you've talked to a customer service representative, you know that you have to wait. You call, then you talk to a live customer service representative who actually takes your order and activates your converter box. With the ANI system, it's a whole lot quicker. I think the whole process transaction takes no more than about 5 to 6 seconds when you're actually placing the call. And the number for Viewer's Choice 1 is 1-800-885-4100. And to make things easy, Viewer's Choice 2, the 800 number is 1-800-885-4200. So it's 4100 for Viewer's Choice 1, 4200 for Viewer's Choice 2. And I think that customers will find that it's a lot easier and quicker to order. You can order up to 30 minutes before the next event is going to happen. So it's probably the quickest way to do it. But it still does leave the question of where do you find the movies if you want to know where they're on, which always seems to be the biggest question. The simplest way is that in all communities we offer a preview guide, which scrolls all of the programming that's upcoming for that evening, I think in 3-hour blocks. What's on the broadcast channels, the cable satellite channels, on the premium channels, HBO, and also on Viewer's Choice 1 and 2. And it will list them actually in clumps, Viewer's Choice 1 and 2, and actually list all the times during the day when a movie is airing. That's one way to find it. Another way is we have on Channel 6, at various times during the day there are movie previews, and there's also the schedule for the movies and events that day that are on pay-per-view. And probably one of the other ways is subscribe to the cable guide. The listings are in the cable guide every month as well.
So that sounds like it's really a quantum leap in terms of ease of ordering for our subscribers. And I know that since we introduced it, which was about 6 or 7 months ago, the proportion of our subscribers who are ordering pay-per-view using the ANI, automatic number identification method, as opposed to speaking to one of our CSRs, has really jumped from where it was, once non-existent to now being something on the order of, I think, 60% or so. So I think subscribers have taken to the ordering method as being friendly, but clearly is something that we want to make folks more aware of. So anyway, that's why we're talking about it tonight. I want to remind our subscribers that this is Get Connected, and we are accepting your phone calls here at the studio, 617-721-2050, and that number will come up on the screen periodically. Speaking of pay-per-view, of course, we'd be remiss if we didn't mention what's probably the most exciting pay-per-view event really in the history, I think, of pay-per-view, and that, of course, is the Olympics Tripcast, which is coming up from July 26th to August 9th. And that is really, I think, in a lot of respects, going to be breaking new ground for the pay-per-view business. Mm-hmm. And we'll be offering that in all 7 of our towns in this area. And
I think one of the really exciting things about the Olympics, I think every now and then subscribers will hear, gee, events, cable is taking away events that are on free TV. And in this case, couldn't be any further from the truth. I think subscribers are going to find that in addition to the regular Olympics coverage that they see normally on the networks, in this case, the Summer Olympics are on NBC, they're going to be getting additional coverage which they wouldn't normally be able to see through the pay-per-view Olympics. Mm-hmm. Live coverage, uninterrupted, 24 hours a day? 24 hours. In fact, it's actually 12 hours live from 5 a.m. to 5 p.m., and then it'll be replayed from 5 p.m. to 5 a.m. And that really is the only live coverage of the games that will be shown from Barcelona, because given the time difference, the coverage that'll be on NBC at night will all be taped coverage. So there is somewhat of a difference. We have someone on the line right now, so let's interrupt our Olympics coverage and pick up Tom from Winchester. Hi, Tom.
Hello, how are you?
Good, thank you. How are you? What can we do for you?
I'd like to ask you a couple of questions.
Okay.
Concerning our local cable area. The first is, I'm from Winchester, and can you tell me why we don't have pay-per-view?
Okay. We get that question frequently from our Winchester subscribers, and the reason is that for us to be able to deliver pay-per-view to an individual home, we need the type of technology that allows us to deliver it, let's say, only to your home and not to your neighbors. That type of technology is known as addressable technology, and that's different from the technology that we have in Winchester, which is known as trap technology. And in the trap way of doing things, we would only be able to offer you pay-per-view by coming out to your individual house and taking a trap off the pole and then putting it right back on the pole again when the movie concluded. So technically, we're not able to offer that at this point in Winchester.
But as you said, you could do it to an individual house. Would that be possible to do?
Well, what we would need to be doing would be sending the pay-per-view signal out to Winchester, which we currently don't do. And we would need to put a trap on all of the homes that were not taking pay-per-view.
Okay, and also, in January of 1989, Winchester discontinued the use of WGN.
Right.
And could you tell me the reason for that?
WGN was disconnected. Well, Mike, you were here in 89. Why don't you?
WGN, which is also a superstation, it's out of Chicago, and I know there are some Cubs fans out there, and WGN carries the Cubs. Actually, I don't know if they still do.
They do.
But there's an FCC ruling called that requires cable operators to carry not more than to import not more than 2 distant broadcast signals
without incurring
a penalty. And at the time, back in January of '89, we were carrying 3. We were carrying WPIX out of New York, WGN from Chicago, and WTBS out of Atlanta. And at that time, this new ruling went into effect, and basically, without paying an astronomical penalty, cable operators were really discouraged from carrying 3 distant superstations. And in this case, based on some subscriber surveys that we've done in our communities at that time, it indicated that WPIX, I think we now have WOR, not WPIX.
Right.
WOR and WTBS out of Atlanta were the 2 most popular of the distant superstations that we were receiving. And it was to the point where when we really looked at all of the numbers in terms of what would the penalty be to carry a 3rd or even a 4th distant signal, it almost required us to charge as much as what it would cost to carry a premium channel, so that it worked out to almost about $8 per subscriber per month to continue to carry that third distance signal, which, as I'm sure you're aware, is just, is an astronomical amount of money for one channel. But basically, the information came from subscriber surveys that we did at that time, which indicated that WOR and WTBS were the two most popular superstations that we were carrying at that time, and consequently have been the ones that we've kept ever since.
Is it possible that you could make stations like WPIX and WGN a premium channel?
No, we can't. In fact, that was another thing we looked at. Because they're technically considered broadcast systems in their market and not a so-called premium channel like HBO, the contracts that we carry or that we could carry with those services require that they carried only as a basic service and not as a premium channel.
Okay, and finally, I'd like your opinions on how Don Conan's been handling the Channel 19 operations down there.
We think he's doing a great job.
Okay, and I'd like to say hi to all my viewers that are watching, and to promote a fairly new show to Channel 19 called The Kirk Minahan Show. It debuted a couple months ago with a great success, and it shows Kirk Minahan, who's a student at Winchester High, discussing the Winchester High athletic front as well as other important issues. So I'd just like to promote a up-and-coming new show on Channel 19.
Well, we're glad that you're making use of the new studio.
Okay, well, thank you and have a good night.
Thanks a lot, Tom.
Oh, it's always good to hear people are using the studio.
Yeah,
that's good.
Certainly. We were talking about the Olympics before, and we do want to get back to that. It's been somewhat controversial. It's gotten a lot of coverage in the media, and it's something that we want to just take a few minutes to clarify exactly how it's going to work. Mm-hmm. It's $125 for the 15 days, which comes out to about $8 and change per day. It's purely supplemental coverage to all the coverage that will be on NBC that's been free over the years. It'll be free this year as well. As I mentioned before, because it's from Barcelona and there is a time difference, all the coverage on NBC will be taped. The coverage on the Triplecast pay-per-view portion will be live from 5 a.m. to 5 p.m. and replayed from 5 p.m. to 5 a.m. Our subscribers can order this pay-per-view event from us by calling us at the office, and we'll get them signed up. Mm-hmm. And the only caveat is that it'll be available on a per-day basis for $30 in 6 of our towns. The only one where it won't be available on a per-day basis is in Winchester.
Mm-hmm. But Winchester can purchase the full package for the 2-week package.
Yeah.
And that's being available to them.
Yeah. And the other thing that we should mention about this pay-per-view event is that as a result of carrying it on 3 different channels, we're going to be preempting 3 channels as well to make sure that we can fit these 3 pay-per-view channels in. And the 3 channels that we're going to be preempting are Viewer's Choice 1, Viewer's Choice 2, and Metro Marketplace, which is the classified advertising real estate channel, which I'm sure some of our subscribers are going to miss. But folks should just be aware of the fact that for that 15-day period, I think the only exception there is Reading will continue to get Viewer's Choice 1 for a specific technical reason. They'll continue to get Viewer's Choice 1. And
so after I've just spent time giving everybody the Viewer's Choice 1 and 2 ANI numbers,
yeah,
you just can't use them during that week, that 2-week period.
Yeah, that's an important clarification.
But it's going to be a good time. It's going to be a good chance to see some of the events that you wouldn't normally be able to see.
Yeah.
Too much coverage on during prime time.
Yeah. Well, that's really what makes this an unprecedented event, and that is that the Olympics have been on for how many years? Since we've had TV, going back to, let's say, the 30s or the 40s. And this is really the very first time when all the Olympic events are going to be covered. And that says a lot, I think, about how far we've come in the sort of pay-per-view business. I think we have a call now from Bob from Stoneham. Hi, Bob.
Hi, guys. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good, thanks. I was listening to your previous caller regarding the Cubs station that you had. And what I was wondering... In fact, I've called about this a couple times. I'm a member of a rotisserie baseball team. I don't know if you are familiar with that. It's like fantasy football, on
right,
the baseball version.
Right.
And all of our teams are from the American League. So obviously, it's of more interest to me to catch Yankees games than it would be the Mets. Mm-hmm. And I notice now that except for the Red Sox games, it almost seems like 80 to 90% of all baseball games that we get through our cable system are National League games. I don't know whether even the games that are on ESPN seem to be predominantly National League telecast. And I was wondering if there's any chance at all that WOR, I guess it is, if that will ever be perhaps changed back to PIX, like if they could alternate them, maybe you know, every other year, you know, swap off and get one, so that some of us Yankee fans could you know, catch some of the Yankee games.
I'm sympathetic to your cause, Bob. I'm an old Yankee fan myself. I think the reality is that swapping stations, you know, year in and year out between PIX and WOR is probably a fairly remote possibility.
Yeah,
you know, you can understand it's hard for people to keep track of what's on the system as it is without, you know, complicating it by putting something on for 1 year and taking it off the following year, putting something else in its place. And as far as PIX goes, it's I mean, rather as far as the National League coverage goes on cable, I'll take your word for it. I've never you know, done a study myself, but that may very well be the case, and we can certainly look into it. Our marketing manager is a diehard baseball fan himself, and he may have some insight as to why the National League teams get more coverage.
Yeah, because like you'll see on a Saturday or a Sunday, you might see 4 games. And except for the Red Sox games, it seems like the other 3 are all National League games.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I've never seen that, but thanks for the observation.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thanks Bob.
Geez, that's an interesting one. Obviously a diehard baseball fan.
Obviously, yeah.
I had never had anybody say that to me before.
Yeah, goes to show how much baseball coverage there is available, though, now that you know, you'd actually be able to start classifying it as predominantly National League versus American League and so forth. But
it's a good point. You know, it's a good time to bring it up if subscribers have questions like that, even during the course of a month. They should, you know, feel comfortable calling our office, asking to speak with the manager, or even jotting us a note if you have an interest in a particular channel or a particular type of programming. We really do value those calls and letters when we get them, and our decisions on making programming choices when we make changes or look towards adding new programming are really made based on those letters as well as viewership studies and things that we do. Yeah. So we really encourage our customers, just like the previous caller, to write us and let us know if you have an interest in a particular service, or if you've taken the time to note something like that, you know, I'm afraid we don't. Sure. We don't even watch closely enough to catch those things.
Yeah. Just want to remind our viewers that this is Get Connected, and I'm Will Richmond, our General Manager here in Winchester and surrounding communities, and Mike Leone, our Operations Manager, coming to you live on the 9th. We're only doing a half an hour tonight until 7:30, so we encourage any calls you may have with any comments or questions. I think the number's up on the screen right now, 721-2050.
We're just doing a shortened version for the summer, just for July and August. We'll be back in our 1 hour slot again and starting in September.
Yes. And I think we were wrapping up our conversation on the Olympics, and want to mention also that as a result of some technical reasons, during the 2 weeks that the Olympics Triplecast will be on pay-per-view, we're going to be doing a very special Disney free preview for 2 weeks. And I know that some of our subscribers who maybe have not had an opportunity to take a look at Disney when we've done free preview weekends before, really have something special to look forward to there. A couple of weeks free of the Disney Channel is really going to be, I think, a special experience. I know you've...
Well, it's pretty unusual. I mean, we're really fortunate that we're able to get it and do a preview for 2 weeks. But I think most of our subscribers have come across the free previews when they were offered for a weekend or a 4-day period. But it's pretty unprecedented to get a 2-week free preview. So I hope our subscribers will take advantage of it and watch the programming.
Yeah. We also have, on another programming note, we have a change that just, I think, occurred on July 4th, and that has to do with WHLL, which is the channel from Worcester, Channel 27, and they made a decision, which is really outside of our control, but they made a decision to go to Spanish programming during the prime time hours, both during the weekdays and the weekends, and that's a pretty interesting decision from their standpoint. Clearly, they've decided that there's an underserved market out there that would like to have Spanish programming. So they are now, I guess, from 6 p.m. to midnight weekdays and 4 p.m. to midnight on weekends, showing a cable satellite service called Telemundo, which is purely Spanish programming. So I would suspect that a lot of our subscribers who like to watch WHLL at night for whatever they had been showing have noticed a difference there, and we want to just take a moment to explain to our subscribers that that's not a decision that Continental Cablevision made, but really is a decision that WHLL made.
And clearly we have been getting calls in our office over the last week with customers wondering where the Spanish programming's come from. They know that they tune in at 8 o'clock at night and used to catch an evening movie on WHLL at 8 o'clock, and now all of a sudden there's Spanish language programming. But as Will had mentioned, that clearly is a decision that WHLL made, and really had was not anything a decision that Continental made. And because it is a broadcast channel, we do continue to carry it on our system.
Absolutely. Speaking of other interesting programming highlights, with the Democratic Convention just around the corner, I know we're very excited about the coverage that both CNN and C-SPAN are going to be having of the Democratic Convention, and obviously then the Republican Convention following, and whether there's a Ross Perot convention after that is another question. But Mike, you're familiar with the political coverage, and
this is from everything I've read, going to be C-SPAN's most extravagant coverage that they've ever done of any convention.
Let me hold you on their extravagant coverage for just a minute. We'll have plenty of time to extol the extravagance of C-SPAN in just a minute, but let me pick up Matt from Wilmington. Hi, Matt. Matt? Do we have Matt? Matt?
Yep.
Oh, okay. How are you?
Good.
What can we do for you tonight?
I wanted to know, when will the Wilmington cable subscribers get the Sci-Fi channel when it premieres this fall? Because I think this is going to be the biggest thing since MTV, so I really hope we can get it this fall. I mean,
the biggest thing since what?
Excuse me?
I'm sorry, you said the biggest thing since what?
MTV, I mean.
Oh, the biggest thing to be. Yeah, the Sci-Fi channel for our subscribers who are watching right now or not familiar with is going to be a new cable TV station that is premiering soon, and it's going to be totally dedicated to science fiction, both original and purchased programming. And the answer to the question of whether the Sci-Fi channel is going to be coming up is that we're really not sure right now. I think Mike was talking before about how we make programming decisions, and what we're trying to do there is match what our subscriber interests are with the availability that we have, and also what channels that we've been carrying are perhaps not that popular anymore. And what we do to assess that is do surveys and really keep our ear to the ground as far as what phone calls are coming in. And I know we've had a few phone calls regarding Sci-Fi, and folks who are interested in that sort of programming are making their preferences known. One issue that is important to always consider when it comes to channels and new channels is that there's only a certain amount of room on a cable system from a technical standpoint that we can add channels to, and where there isn't any space, which currently there is not any space in Wilmington, we do face the problem of having to drop a channel in order to add a channel, and that's obviously a very sensitive topic because there's always an audience for whatever channel it is that you might think about dropping. The other thing to keep in mind as far as programming decisions go, that I think Mike touched on before, is that there is a cost associated with adding all new channels, and as we're trying to be sensitive to rate increases and keeping rates under control, we always want to have an eye on what these new channels are looking to charge us for being carried, and at this point we haven't seen any proposals yet from Sci-Fi as far as what fees they're looking for, but that is something else that goes into the decision.
And I think one of the last things to note is that Sci-Fi, although it hasn't officially launched at this point and is projected to launch this fall, they have been in the planning stages and have been attempting a launch for the last 2 years. So it still remains to be seen whether the channel will launch, especially in this economic time. It's very difficult for new programming services to actually get off the ground, but it's much awaited, and they have been trying to get off the ground for the last 2 years, and hopefully they will this fall.
Does that explain it, Matt?
Yep, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Bye.
All right, tell us about the extravagance of C-SPAN now, Mike.
I knew we'd get back to it.
C-SPAN not usually a channel associated with the word extravagance, but tell us about it.
There are very few channels that can provide virtually round-the-clock coverage of any event, and C-SPAN certainly can with the Democratic and Republican national conventions. I know that they've invested a lot of time and money to put it together. They've sent virtually their whole crew to do pretty much round-the-clock coverage from New York, and that coverage begins, I believe, as the convention starts on Monday, I believe, but their coverage starts, I think, this weekend on C-SPAN. So, you know, if you're looking for extensive coverage and a lot of behind-the-scenes coverage, an interview with delegates and people like that, then clearly C-SPAN is the place to go. Aside from that, obviously, from what we know of CNN, I mean, they always spend a lot of time putting together live events. And I guess one other thing worth noting, back in March, we launched the New England Cable News Channel on all of our systems in this area. It's a service that's a co-venture between Hearst Corporation, the owners of Channel 5, and Continental Cablevision. But they are also providing live coverage from the convention as well. And I know that Marjorie Clapprood, who does a program every day on New England Cable News Channel, will be doing her live show from the convention. And it should be interesting because she's really going to go behind the scenes into the Massachusetts delegation a little bit more. So you'll really get a very local perspective watching New England Cable News Channel's coverage. So if you're a political junkie, there's going to be plenty of coverage this summer between the Democratic and Republican conventions.
Lots of excitement coming up very shortly. And if you're an underwater junkie, we've got the Discovery Channel Shark Week coming up next week also, which the Discovery Channel is taken to doing every year. And they're going to be showing 10 hours of original programming, original documentary programming next week on sharks, and that's proven to be a very popular and very successful series in the past.
And Tom, our marketing manager, reminded us today that it's supposedly the highest rated special programming during any 1 week during the year. So I guess there are a lot of people out there that are interested in sharks and shark attacks, I guess.
I think we have a call from Andrea from Wilmington. Let's take that, probably our last call. Hi, Andrea.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, thanks. What can we do for you this evening?
Actually, I had a question. I missed your HBO free preview a couple of weekends ago and was wondering if you had any more coming up at all.
An HBO free preview?
Well, any free previews.
We actually do. Yeah, we have a movie channel preview coming up, right?
Yeah.
That's next weekend.
Great.
Okay.
Yeah. And of course the Disney preview that we mentioned before, which is going to be during the Olympics coverage, which is July 26th, and that's, as we mentioned before, really an unprecedented preview in that it's going to be 2 full weeks, 15 days of the Disney Channel.
Excellent. I also thought I heard Showtime this weekend for a preview.
Showtime this weekend, that's correct.
Excellent.
It is on this weekend,
great.
and I know that in most of our communities we've been doing some promotion for it, and there was a notice in the bills as well talking about the Showtime preview this weekend, and Movie Channel next weekend, and Disney later in the month.
Okay.
Excellent. Great. And I just want to say what a pleasure it is dealing with your people in the office. They're always so pleasant.
Very good. Well, we're glad to hear that you're pleased with our staff in the office.
Write us a letter. We love those comments.
I'm sorry?
Write us a letter. We love to hear those comments.
Oh, I will definitely do that.
Thanks a lot,
Thanks for
Andrew.
your call.
Thank you.
Okay, I think we're just winding down now. We've only got a few seconds left, but I just want to take one quick minute to mention the fact that coming up in August, we have another campaign to support Stone Zoo. And of course, I think a lot of our subscribers will remember that in 1990, we ran a very successful campaign where we contributed a substantial amount of our installation revenue for the 2 months, August and September, to the zoo. The zoo is now open. It reopened in June. It opened with a limited number of exhibits. And we once again, Continental Cablevision is going to be sponsoring a Stone Zoo campaign where half of the reduced installation fee of $10 is going to be donated to the zoo, and we just want all of our subscribers to be aware of that, something we're very excited about. And I think that that's just about all the time that we have for tonight. So again, I'm Will Richmond, General Manager for Continental Cablevision, Mike Leone, our Operations Manager. I want to thank you for joining us on Get Connected, and we look forward to seeing you next month. Good night.